Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here and welcome back to the railway. Today I'm looking at a brand new tooled model by Graham Farish, and it's a bit of a random one. So up until recently, we didn't really get that many niche, unusual models in N-Gauge. Why not? Well, because N-Gauge is quite a niche scale already. So if you have manufacturers producing niche models within a niche scale, they're kind of asking for trouble. They're not likely to sell that many. But recently we've seen Bachmann break out of that mould, really. They released their beautiful C-Class in pre-grouping SECR livery. I was asking the question, what are you going to do with this thing? Who's going to want this? But you can't deny what a lovely model it was, and I suspect it probably sold quite well. And today's wagon is quite an unexpected one as well. It is this. It is Graham Farish's brand new North Eastern Railway P7 coal wagon. And I was very surprised when I saw Bachmann and Farish announce this thing. You know, you wouldn't expect such niche models to be produced. But of course, these wagons are pretty unusual these days. But back 100 years ago, or in the early 1900s, there were tens of thousands of these things. So perhaps not that niche after all. But it does beg the question, especially in terms of the Northeastern one, what are you going to run this with? What's going to pull these? Well, in N-Gauge at the moment, ready to run, not a whole lot. The only one I could find was Dapol's J72 in the Northeastern livery. So yeah, again, it is kind of a strange model to see. But the good thing about these P7 wagons is that they passed into L&ER ownership, so that opens up L&ER locomotives for you. Some of them passed into British Railways ownership as well, so again that broadens the net, doesn't it? And then some of them went into departmental use as well, and private ownership, I think, too. So actually, when you start thinking about it, there's a pretty good reason to have produced this. The prices though are pretty wild. So the full RRP for this is £29.95, which is right up there with 00 scale prices, isn't it? And at the retailers it's a little cheaper but still frightfully expensive really, at £25.45. And the crazy thing is, Accurascale produced this model in 00 scale, and the price of that model is not much more. That works out at £28.32 per model. And if you buy 2 packs or more, you get them for the same price as this N-scale model. And if you were to buy 5 packs or more, which is realistic because that's only 15 wagons, so you could be buying that many, you actually get these at 15% off, which is much cheaper than the Bachmann Graham Farish model. Now yes, N-Gauge, again, it's a niche scale. They're not going to sell as many of these as Accurascale will sell of theirs, but nevertheless, from a customer's point of view, this isn't exactly attractive, is it? So yeah, N-Gauge is a niche scale, but with prices like that, it's likely to stay that way, isn't it? And you might say, well, there's no competition for models like this, so Bachmann can charge what they want. And that's sort of true. There's no other N-Gauge version of this available, but they're still competing. They're competing with other scales and other activities, you know. If N-Gauge modelers decide it's better and cheaper to buy a video game or go fishing or do anything else, start knitting socks, that's bad news. So yeah, I do wish the prices of some of this N-Gauge stuff were a bit more reasonable, but hey, maybe £25 is very reasonable for this. Perhaps this will be the best model I've ever seen. Having said that, I've waffled on a bit too long now, haven't I? I think we'd all agree about a small N-Gauge wagon. Got to drag the video out somehow. Let's get started. If you want to buy one or check out the range, affiliate links down in the description. For now though, let's get this out. So fancy packaging this time. This is in Bachmann's Railway Celebrations range, which I think is celebrating 200 years of the railways. Obviously that was last year, wasn't it? 2025, so a little bit late, but then again, it wouldn't be Bachmann, would it, if everything was running on time. Anyway, let me show you the end of the box. So the version I've got is 373-375A. It's the Northeastern P7 coal hopper in the Northeastern Railway grey livery ND, and Bachmann have produced this in all sorts of different liveries. You can get this in different Northeastern liveries than this. You can get them in L&ER, you can get them in BR, they've done, what was it, an NCB version. There's loads and loads to look at. Anyway, we've got some accessories here. Let's have a look here. Right, so it looks like we've got safety chains. Wow, they're tiny, aren't they? And some coupling hooks for you to fit if you want to. So yeah, really, really nice to have the safety chains, and good grief, those are tiny. Good luck fitting them if you decide to put them on. Let's take a look at the wagon then. Hard to believe something like this costs £25 or more if you're unlucky. But let's see what it's like. Ooh, interesting. Couldn't see that from the outside of the box. It's got a bit of an interior detail to it. Right, lifting. Ooh, wow. Okay, so I'm getting a sense of quality from this. It is quite a heavy wagon. That's surprising. You don't normally see that with N-Gage wagons. Yeah, I'll pop that on the scales later on. I don't think the chassis is die-cast or anything, but it must have a pretty heavy weight baked into it to weigh what it does. All right, so yeah, this wagon, it's expensive. That's definitely true, but it's mightily impressive. There's quite a bit of separate detail to it. Obviously, it's Bachmann, so it's painted nicely. It seems to be nicely put together. It's quality. All right, yeah, I can see it. This is expensive. I don't know that it's worth £25, but it seems like they've done a really, really top job of this. Anyway, I'll show you the detail in just a second. First, though, let's have a bit of background on these. The P7 was an absolute staple of the North Eastern Railway, but they were also widely used by the LNER following grouping, and like I say, BR after that. These were effectively a step up from the earlier Chaldron wagons, which we've seen from the likes of Acura Scale 2 in 00 scale. It'd be fun to see one of those in N, wouldn't it? But these are much larger coal-carrying wagons, each one capable of moving around 7 times as much coal as an old Chaldron wagon. An impossible 17,000 of these were built in total. Such was the demand for transporting coal at the time, I suppose. In later years, the wagons found use under private ownership, meaning that these wagons actually spanned many decades of versatile operation. So there it is, up close and personal for you, the brand new P7 wagon. And I think it's fair to say that this is very expensive. I mean, depending on how many you buy, this is potentially more expensive than the much more detailed Acura Scale 00 model. And they're madmen for making this as expensive as that. But I think it's also fair to say that they have done an amazing job on this wagon. They've definitely pulled out all of the stops, and they've made something very, very convincing, very realistic, and very impressive. So let's jump into this. I mean, it's easy to talk about separate parts all the time, and I do that, and I am impressed by, you know, the number of separate parts a model has got. But also, I think what's even more impressive about this model is the moulded detail. Now, bear in mind, this thing is only a few centimeters long. Look at the crispness in the bodywork. It is just insane. It's absolutely crazy how tiny those rivets are. Yeah, you can tell this is a new tooled item because of how sharp it all looks. I mean, look at these little brackets on the end. I thought they were lamp brackets, but they're not. Those things are so sharply moulded that they look separately fitted. I don't think they are separately fitted, but it's almost impossible to tell because of how good the moulding is. So yeah, I don't know what they've done, but I don't think I've ever seen this level of fidelity before in N-Gage. It looks like 00, doesn't it? And the same is true of the inside. Look at the quality of the moulding here. We haven't just got planking, we've got full detail down in the bottom, we've got dividers, we've got the hopper system. Yeah, it is absolutely cracking. Anyway, let's talk about the decoration. So it is beautifully painted, as is Bachmann's way. And there's a fair bit of print work on here, as you can see. North Eastern Railway, beautiful lettering there. You got the running number and more lettering on the side. A tiny little builder's plate printed on. And again, the printing is as sharp as the moulding is. Mightily sharp. And then of course we come on to the detail itself. So we'll start at the bottom. There's a look at the axle boxes, beautifully moulded of course. And we've got the full brake rigging. On this side we've just got the brake handle, which underneath is connected by a rod to the other side where the actual brakes are. And of course all of this brake rigging is fully modelled, so that looks great. The buffer beams, for lack of a better term, are looking a little bit bare straight out of the box, but you do have coupling hooks you can fit. Not too sure why those were not fitted as standard. Perhaps they would interfere with the N-gauge couplings. And then you've got fitting holes for the safety chains as well, which are really nice to see included. So that's good. And then you've got loads and loads of separately fitted metal wire handrails. These are not just moulded on, they are all separately fitted, and there's a lot of them. I think there's 8. 8 handrails on a model this tiny, that's no mean feat. And as you can see, they're all nicely fitted, except for one, which seems to have been pushed in a little bit too far. But otherwise, the quality is fantastic. The buffers are separately fitted and made from metal, turned metal, so that's really good quality as well. Love to see that. And speaking of the weight for this is insane. It weighs over 10 grams. Now, a typical Graham Farish N-gauge wagon, like this one, weighs less than 5. Yet this thing is more than double, more than 10 grams. Now, that's so heavy that you might be concerned about whether it's going to be haulable by a small locomotive. Well, it should be, because I think the weight is offset by how free rolling it is. Look at that. N-gauge wagons don't always roll as free as that. And I think also because it's so heavy, if you've got a big train of them, they might actually act like a flywheel, you know, build up some momentum in them. And then if you do hit a hill or something, a slope, a gradient, got there in the end, they might actually give the loco a nudge and help it out because they're so heavy. But yeah, lovely wagon, beautifully built, very, very heavy, great moulding, great separate detail, and beautiful paintwork. So, you know, yes, it's expensive. I don't know whether this is worth £25. You know, no matter how good an N-gauge wagon is it worth £25? Well, I don't know. I suppose the market shall decide. But it's not a rip-off or anything, because the quality and the detail is definitely there. It's very, very impressive for N-gauge. Anyway, we need to test this out, see how it runs, so let's get this down onto the track. I'll choose a loco. I don't have the Dapol J72, so there's no prototypical loco for this to run with, but I shall at least be able to give this a spin. Alright, here is today's test setup then. So I've chosen the beautiful C-Class as today's loco. I know it's a bit sacrilegious to haul a filthy coal wagon with a beautiful passenger loco, but I know it's not going to let me down. I know it's just going to work without complaining. And then of course we've got the wagon. So I've got other open wagons either side of it so we can test the couplings. As I've already mentioned, it's incredibly free rolling, so it should be very easy to pull. Let's give this a try then. Struggled a little bit, of course, again, because it's so, well, most of this rolling stock is fairly free rolling. So with smaller trains, they do sort of move back rather than couple, so you do have to be a bit rough with them on the coupling, but as you can see, it's coupled up really nicely. And the couplings seem to be at the right height, don't they? Right, let's try the points test then. Right, okay. Hopefully the C-Class isn't going to let us down. Nope. Alright, so it survived. Let's try it in reverse. Survived again. Now let's be stupid and do full speed. If it fails this test, I might not be too critical of it, for obvious reasons. Why? Because of this. Nice. Reverse, this is the tricky one. Okay, pushing my luck a little there. But it didn't seem to be today's wagon that went wrong, did it? So just for the heck of it, let's just put this and its Great Western cousin on. And let's try that again without all the other stuff. Ready? Well, would you look at that? So yeah, maybe other rolling stock, not so much. But the P7, absolutely solid as a rock. So let's get the other rolling stock back on. Let's do that. And then we will get this running around the track and I'll give you some of my final thoughts on it. All right, off we go. Nope, forwards. All right, so this thing is really expensive, but you know what? This is a niche model. You wouldn't necessarily expect to see this produced, and it is absolutely spot on in every way, isn't it? You know, if it had issues, if it had faults, if things about it weren't right, I would say this price is absolutely out of the question. but when everything is absolutely spot on, that's a lot harder to say, isn't it? So you know what, this is pricey, it won't be for everybody, but if you really did want a P7 in N-Gage for whatever reason, you couldn't really ask for a better model of one than this. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Well done, Bachmann, Graham Farish. They are one and the same, I suppose. What a cracking model, and a beautiful loco to hold them as well. Let's do some ratings then for the Graham Farish P7, and this will not take long because this thing is fantastic. So the level of detail I've given an easy 5-star. I just can't see how this could have been better for N-Gage. Obviously if it was 00 you could have more details and sprung buffers and stuff, and that's what Acura scale have done. But for N-Gage, all those separate parts, the brake rigging, the quality of the moulding, it couldn't be better, I don't think. So 5-star. Let me know if you can think of ways in which this could be better. Similarly, the performance is just fantastic. So it is great and heavy, very stable on the track. The couplings work fine, it's all at the right height, very free rolling. Again, what more can you say? It works fine over the points. 5 stars. The quality similarly is great. The quality of the paint is top notch, moulding, build quality really good. Really heavy, like I say, over 10 grams, that's crazy for an open wagon. It doesn't get 5-star because one of those handrails wasn't fitted properly. I think if I was giving it 5-star, it would need to be 100% perfect. This isn't 100% perfect, but it's 90% perfect, so quality 4.5, very good. Value for money then, I think, is where this falls down, because yes, it's excellent, but I'm not convinced there's 25 to 30 pounds worth of model here. I understand why it's expensive. Obviously it's niche, they've got to make a profit on it, but those are for the manufacturer to worry about. From a customer's point of view, none of that is important. What's important is what you get for your money. And the fact is, in 00 scale, you can get more for your money here. Now, that's obviously not practical advice for a lot of people. If you model N scale and not 00, then that doesn't matter. You can ignore this. But I do try and look at what you can get across this hobby for a certain amount of money and rate models accordingly. So £29.95 full RRP, I think that is too much for what you get here. £30 is a lot of money these days. I think you'd expect 2 or 3 of these for that, if I'm honest. £25.45, that's the retailer price. Yeah, you know, that's a lot. So on the one hand, this is a marvellous model. On the other hand, it is an awful lot of money. So I've given it 2.5 star, middle of the road. You can see, you can understand why these prices are what they are, but that doesn't make them any easier to swallow. Overall though, that's still a really good score, 8.40 out of 10, or a grade of B. Everything is spot on, I think, except for the price. If money is no object, go out and buy as many of these as you can, because they are tremendous. If you are having to rein in spending on models at the moment, then again, I think the value is definitely something to consider here. Into the logbook this goes then, and it is second place, just below the Shark. Yeah, a very, very good model. So that's just about it for this review. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I often see that there's not that much interest around these N-Gage rolling stock reviews. So if you do like them, show your love for them. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh God, I hate saying things like that. If you want to, feel free to. As long as there are people that say I like these N-Gage rolling stock reviews, I will keep doing them once in a while, at least. And if there's anything else you'd like to see reviewed, as always, please do comment down below and let me know. For now though, thanks once again for watching. Affiliate links down in the description, and I'll catch you on the next one. Alright, cheers everybody, you take care.